So starting off with the first model, is the trans theoretical model, and the first stage is pre-contemplation. During this stage, African Americans will have no intention of taking the COVID-19 vaccine. As far as they know, they're never going to take it. The next stage is contemplation. During this stage, they plan to schedule a COVID-19 vaccine appointment, or or they may potentially consider the consequences of not receiving a vaccine. They may contract COVID and receive a severe illness, or they may get COVID and infect other people. The next stage is preparation, in which they actually schedule an appointment date to receive the COVID-19 vaccine, or they set a date to come into a vaccination site. By this point, they're already planning on getting the vaccine, and they're taking measures to get the vaccine in the foreseeable future. The next stage is action, in which they actually come in to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. They may commit to coming in on an assigned date to receive the vaccine, or they actually decide a day that they decide to actually come into a local vaccine clinic. And the final stage is maintenance. So depending on the vaccine, the patient makes sure that they make it to a follow-up appointment so they can receive their booster vaccine shot. So currently there are two vaccines that require a booster shot, which is the Moderna shot and the Pfizer shot. So during this stage, they make sure that they actually come in for their second shot. So how this model, the trans theoretical model, helps with the intervention is that it shows the stages in which African Americans take, starting from them having no intention on taking the vaccine to them eventually planning on receiving the vaccine along with the follow-up shot, and it gives a bit of perspective inside their minds on how they move through the stages. So the next stage is the health belief model. In this model, the first section of this model is perceived susceptibility. So COVID-19 is a disease or illness that we have been going through for a long time by this point. So African Americans are well aware of how contagious the COVID-19 is. It's been well reported on how infectious the disease is and how many people it has affected. Chances are, I mean, by this point, chances are some of them have already even contracted it and probably even recovered from it, or or possibly African Americans may perceive that they're less susceptible due to a perceived herd immunity. So right now we're nowhere near reaching the threshold of herd immunity, but at this point the vaccine has been well covered, and it seems like everybody everybody and their mama has received the COVID-19 vaccine. So they may perceive like, okay, enough people have received the vaccine, so they may feel like they don't necessarily need to, due to the fact that enough people have received the vaccine already. So the next stage is perceived severity. So anybody, including African Americans, is aware that COVID is a serious illness that has caused a lot of hardships, whether it be physically or financially. Like COVID at this point has affected our livelihoods, whether we've been affected by the infection or not, by the disease or not. But but even though that COVID has already had a severe effect, the chances of we're well aware of the chances of causing a severe reaction are fairly low, or they may perceive that the chances of causing a severe reaction to be fairly low, since enough people have received the illness and have recovered from it.